Witam Was bardzo serdecznie, z tej strony Runiczny i dziś chciałbym Was zaprosić na kolejny odcinek z The Dwarves. Nie przedłużając tak naprawdę, możemy zacząć.
There was a time when you could hardly lift the heavy hammer. Now you barely notice it anymore and it feels like an extension of your arm. Smithing is in your blood. This is where you swung the forge hammer for the first time 30 cycles ago. No one taught you the craft. It was enough for you to watch Lot Yonan's old smith at work. Whenever the workshop was empty, you practiced and quickly mastered the craft with ease. Everything you know about dwarves you learnt from books. The divine smith created the dwarves, and from time to time you make him an offering of some crumbs of gold. It's the most valuable thing you have to offer Vracus. Everything you know about dwarves...
To już było. Moment. O!
You've worked a bit more on Sunya's birthday present last night. The little one is crazy about horses. You, on the other hand, prefer to keep your distance unless you're fitting them with hooves. Too many legs and way too big.
No tak.
There are apparently dwarves who have never seen the sky. And you too feel more comfortable when you have rock over your head. If only you didn't long to see more of the world, a longing that grows stronger with every year.
Okej.
Hey, groundling! Come to the kitchen, we need you.
Jolison, a fourth-degree famulus and your favorite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
Tungdila! Quick! Or the goulash will get burnt!
You immediately recognize what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load and none of the famuli, who feel superior even during kitchen duty, dare do anything. They might burn their fingers, or even get a bit dirty.
It'd be a waste of goulash. And I'm hungry. Here, hold this.
With as much concern in your voice as you can muster, you say,
Oh, no, this doesn't look good.
you're pleased to notice he's dripping with sweat.
I'll get you back for this, groundling! Do you remember when you dyed my beard with some magic spell? I had to shave it off.
You stroke your beard, which is unusually short for a dwarf.
Damn it! Ah, it's heavy!
The young human forces through his pursed lips, letting the pot sink a little.
Don't you dare ruin my goulash, boy!
The cook, with beefy forearms, glares at the young man, and after a brief moment, he tries harder.
Dobra, nie będziemy go tutaj.
You damned freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
What a pair you are!
The goulash is bubbling in the cauldron. You draw the warm air in through your nose, and the smell makes your mouth start watering.
Nawet ja mam ochotę już w tym momencie na gulasz.
Vegetables, bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled with. Many painful knuckles have taught you that she knows how to handle her heavy wooden spoon, and that she may possibly have eyes in the back of her head.
Coś tu jeszcze jest? O,
The beer that is delivered to the vaults is supposed to be the best beer in Idderslane. It's certainly your favorite beer, but you haven't drunk enough other beers to truly know.
Do you know what Lot Yonan wants?
The maid gives you an amused look. She has often accused you of making things more complicated than necessary.
Okej. To już nic ciekawego.
Hey, what are you doing, groundling? We're still eating here. Why don't you go and get your own portion?
The blacksmith. Do you want something?
Did a horse bolt while you were trying to shoe it? It's certainly not on our plates.
O. O. To już nic ciekawego.
Lot Yonan's vaults are equipped with laboratories, a library, and private rooms for the famuli. Together with the forge, the kitchen, and the other utility rooms, it makes up quite an impressive complex. But compared to the courts of the other magi, the seat of power in Yonandar is small and modest.
Okej. O.
Of the 200 or so people selected to learn the art of magic under Lot Yonan, there's barely a handful of them you can stand the sight of. You're not at all interested in magic in all its elusiveness and whimsy. Your realm is the forge.
Master Lot Yonan, Frala told me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Blacksaddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure. What's in the bag?
Magical devices. You better leave the bag closed if you want to avoid any accidents. Dwarves don't really like magic, and magic doesn't like you either.
Rakus gave us so much craftsmanship that there's no space left in our bodies for magic.
Strictly speaking, every time you've been too close to magic, it has ended in catastrophe.
Perhaps I'll meet some dwarves on my travels.
Yes, perhaps. But don't hold out too much hope. And be careful who you talk to. Not everyone out there likes dwarves.
Yeah, goblins. They abduct baby dwarves and sell them to magi, from what I've heard.
Not the best bit of business I've ever done. But what was I to do? The Longnoses threatened to throw you into the nearest river. Be on your guard. Look after the bag and don't lose it. May Palandiel be with you. And Vrakas too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot Yonan.
No to wyruszamy na podróż. Dobra. O, nie tutaj. O, dziennik, o. Dobra, i to w takim wypadku... Aha. Bo mnie poprosi pewnie, to od razu sobie weźmiemy toporek. Dobra, to w takim wypadku ruszamy w drogę. Jak to mówią, komu w drogę, temu czas.
Just as you reach the door, your stomach rumbles. It's not even noon yet, and you think you're going to survive a 300-mile journey without provisions.
A, jedzonko trzeba zebrać.
Hello, Frala. I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an epic journey. Wait, I've got just the right thing. But make sure the cook doesn't see.
I'm going to Blacksaddle to return a few things to a former apprentice in the Magus.
You pocket the rye bread, sausages, and ham. Enough food for the first few days of your journey.
Perhaps I'll even meet some dwarves on the way.
Frala throws you a cautious glance. It's a tricky subject that you can't help but broach.
There aren't dwarves down here. You're the only one in Iderslane, as far as we know.
I know, but I can't just have been born out of a rock. Somewhere in the mountains, I have a clan. Maybe even a family.
Yes. Maybe.
Frala has reminded you more than once that Lot Yonan wrote to the dwarf clans, and none of them were missing a dwarf boy.
I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewellery in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter. She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said, but you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I have to go. I've got a long journey ahead of me.
I wish you the blessing of Palandial and Vracus to protect you from all danger on your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
No tak. Co byśmy dostali? Szala. Pamiątka przynosi szczęście właścicielowi. Okej. To ruszamy. Mamy 19 racji, to myślę, że tak na 19 dni podróży.
How nice to see you again, Lot Yonan. It must have been an age since we last met face to face.
Nudin, welcome. Please, sit down.
No, thank you, my friend. These are urgent matters, and I don't have much time. You must come to Leos Nudin immediately. The perished land is stirring.
Are you sure? What makes you think that?
I found out about 60 orbits ago, during a visit to the borders. Our magical barriers have weakened and become porous. The Elfar have left their land, and a huge horde of orcs have marched into Girdlegard.
Were you able to strengthen the spell with your magic?
No, I can't repair the damage alone. We need the combined power of the 6. The other 4 are already on their way here, but we need your help too.
I will set off for Parista without delay.
Oh, and as you're coming, could you also take the opportunity to bring back the things that I lent to you?
Of course. I have them already packed in a bag.
Oh, thank you. We'll be expecting you.
Nie wiem, jak oni, nie wiem dlaczego oni tak perfidnie zrobili go w ten sposób.
Utterly blinded by the sunlight, you squeeze your eyes tightly shut after only a few steps. The time spent underground has made you so sensitive to light that you're forced to seek shelter in the shade of a mighty oak.
No i tak wygląda, proszę ja was, mapa. Jest tutaj wiele aspektów, które możemy zwiedzić, natomiast drogę, którą możemy zrobić, jest trochę ograniczona. Jak widzicie, trasa jest... Natomiast my musimy się dostać... O, chyba tu, tak. Po drodze mijamy 2 pytajniki, więc... Będziemy mogli to zrobić, będziemy mogli to sobie obejrzeć. Potem będzie też gdzieś indziej, mam nadzieję. Dobra, ale póki co ruszamy.
You reach a small lake by a birchwood. Your feet hurt and your eyes still sting in the unaccustomed sunlight. But a smile spreads across your face nonetheless. You've covered a decent distance on the first day of your big journey. You pitch your camp and lie down to sleep on the hard forest floor. When you awake in the morning, your legs are stiff and achy. Trying not to feel sorry for yourself, you throw your rucksack over your shoulder. You're a dwarf, and dwarves don't complain.
Akurat tu się nie zgodzę, krasnoludy narzekają dużo.
Around midday, with the sun high in the sky and the first beads of sweat appearing on your forehead, you see something move next to the road, a few hundred meters ahead. Some crows are pecking at something in the long grass.
Dobra, obserwujmy
You
okolice.
survey the grass, the bushes and the few trees that are growing on both sides of the track. The wind blows through the grass and the leaves tremble. The pecking of the birds is only interrupted by the occasional fluttering of their wings. Apart from that, you see nothing. The creaking leather armor, the clattering rucksack, and a dwarf's inability to be quiet makes the crows flap around as you move from one bush to another. You give up trying to be stealthy, stand up straight, and see 2 human bodies in the flattened grass. A slender man lies in front of you, dressed in an expensive robe. It is in the colors of Turgur the Fair-Faced, one of the 6 magi. The dead man must be one of Turgur's famuli. You don't see any wounds.
By Vracus.
There are some narrow stab wounds in the man's chest. The cuts are too big to have been made by arrows, but too small for sword wounds.
Dobra, sprawdźmy drugie ciało.
You look down on a tall, broadly built man. He's wearing dark brown leather armor that is strengthened with iron plates. There's a sword lying next to him. Was he trying to defend himself against something? Or someone? There is no blood on the sword. The man has the same incisions. It's clear that both men were killed by the same weapon. But what that weapon might be, you cannot say.
O, plecak. Pierwszy
A
lód.
rucksack that probably belonged to one of the dead. It seems to have been searched and then thrown away carelessly. You find a few implements, some provisions, and a map. A route is drawn on it from Porista, Nudin's capital, to Lotjonen's vaults.
Does this mean that Turgur the Fair-Faced is in Porista and wanted to send Lotjonen a message? And if so, why didn't he use magic? Did he want to contact him without anyone noticing? Why all this secrecy?
Nic więcej, nic. O, i trochę racji. Okej, coś tu jeszcze ciekawego jest. O!
Nothing.
O!
Nothing again.
You halt. There is something.
Another rucksack.
You open the rucksack and recognize that someone has already rummaged through it. As well as some implements and writing utensils, you find a pouch full of gold and a talisman. The gold is proof that this is not a case of robbery.
Weź talizman.
Warmth and a feeling of security flush through your body as you touch the talisman. You feel safer just holding it in your hand.
I'm taking you with me. It's not a
Złoto
robbery
też.
if you're already dead.
You give the corpse an apologetic look. The gold coins join the others in your purse.
Który krasnolud nie przyjąłby złota? A czy coś tu jeszcze jest? Nie, chyba już nic. No, można ruszać w dalszą drogę.
You scour the area once more and ask yourself what to do next.
Pochowamy ciała i ruszymy w drogę.
It's time-consuming and strenuous work digging shallow graves in the ground with a stick and covering the corpses with a few stones. But it should at least keep the crows from their feasting for a while. You continue on your way so as to put a few more miles between you and your grisly find before night falls.
No, a jeśli chodzi o dalsze przygody naszego krasnoluda Tungdila, to zobaczycie je już w następnym odcinku. Za dziś w każdym bądź razie ja chciałbym wam bardzo podziękować. No i do następnego. Mówił do was Runiczny. Trzymajcie się ciepło. Cześć!